Hello, today we'll be using the TapeTech and Asgard 501J loading pump maintenance kit. We're going to be installing that on both the TapeTech pumps as well as the Asgard pump and adapters. Okay, so on the back of the card you'll see the particular pumps that this repair will be used for, which is a TapeTech and Asgard. So we'll just open the kit. Some O-rings in here. We have 2 of each. I'll explain them in a second. We have some screens. Okay, so I'm going to do the screens first. And we have 2 types of screens. We have a coarse screen, which is a wider opening, okay, and we have a fine screen. The coarse is used for taping, and the fine is used for finishing. So if we're using the automatic taper, we would use the coarse ones, and for finishing everything else, the fine. To install the screen, I'm going to install the coarse screen. We just want to remove what we call the foot valve. So we just remove this off of here, or you can put it on without removing it, but just as easier. Remove the wing nut. There's a little wing nut right here. Now on the bottom of the screen you have a hole, and we just press this into place. Just push it in all the way around. We don't want to have any of the screen sticking up, because your hand, if you were to clean this off, that would catch on your hand. So we want to make sure it's all flush. Replace the wing nut. Tighten it up so it doesn't get lost. And then reinstall it back onto the loading pump. Just twist it on there. Okay, so the screens are used for that. The O-rings, now we have the larger ones. They're basically installed on the top where the cylinder meets the pump head. So we're going to remove the cylinder, take these clamps loose, just twist this off and remove the cylinder. Now if you look at the top here, you'll see this O-ring here. Now these don't wear out very often, but when they do, you just have to use a small pick or an awl just to kind of get under it, and then slide it off, and you can remove this from the head itself. And it just, again, this just pushes off like so. Just take it off down here. We replace it with the new one. Now, I will say, if you have this awl or pick, go around and clean this out if there's any debris or any dried joint compound in here. Clean this out really good before you install the new O-ring. Again, just slide it over. Put it on to the pump head here. I have a little bit of oil on here so it's smooth, and then it pops actually right into place. Now we want to go all the way around and make sure it's seated properly. So that's pretty easy. Now we can just replace the cylinder as well. Clamp it down. This just provides a nice seal at the top. Okay, so that takes care of that seal. Now on the newer TapeTech and Asgard pumps, you have an adapter. It would used to be paper here for a gasket. We have this O-ring now. It's kind of sizable. It's pretty heavy. These don't wear out very often, but when they do, if you have leaking where your adapter connects, you'll need to replace this. And again, simply, there's a little slot right here. You can just get under it with this awl or this pointed tool and remove this. Again, clean out any debris or any joint compound that's inside of here, and then press the new one right into place. Make sure it's pressed in. And again, this is used with your adapter, your gooseneck adapter, or your filler in this case, to seal when this is tightened. When you tighten this up, you should have a good seal between the adapter and the pump head right here. Okay, so that's what those are replaced for. Now the O-rings are used on the adapters. They're not on the pump itself. And what we do, if we can move over here, so you have your filler here and the adapter body here, and if this is coming off or if it's loose, there's an O-ring right inside here, okay? And this O-ring, what you need to do is just get inside of it with a pick or an awl or something, and remove the old one. Clean out this little seat, this area where the O-ring sits, so there's no joint compound or dry material in there. And then simply take the new one and press it in with your fingers. Just take it, you got to kind of work it into the area where it sits, and it'll just kind of press it in there. Sometimes you got to work it. It takes a few goes to get it in there, but you just kind of slowly work it in as you go around. And then again, take your adapter and put it in there. And this should hold pretty firm. It shouldn't just fly out. Okay. The other adapter that we're going to replace will be on the gooseneck here, and there's also a little O-ring here. If you can see where I can kind of pull this out. This O-ring just pops out again with a pointed tool. And again, we just clean out the area, clean this out with the awl or the pointed tool, and then just press in the new O-ring. Again, sometimes you got to work it in so it fits around, and this is where the automatic taper filler adapter, filler nozzle would fit on there, so it's important that seal is good. So those are the parts from the 501J kit here, and that's how we replace those onto the TapeTech older, newer, and Asgard loading pumps.